I found out I was pregnant after my service. Oh no, just a week to POP.
Some people where you,
Because there are sometimes when people make mistakes. Yeah, we're all human beings. And the people that mean a lot to them, all they just need at that moment is solace. They don't need you to castigate them because they're really beating themselves up. And then if you go and you're telling them you should, that's no, they know that they already messed up. You shouldn't go there and come and start reminding them of what they already messed up.
oh my baby, for me I hope, for me I hope.
Hi, Eefoma. I'm so pleased to meet you because normally it's only on the majorly on Crack TV I used to see you, and having to send you a DM on Instagram to have this episode with you, and you were willing to have this episode. I'm happy that you actually came over and you're willing to talk about single motherhood and how it's been so far, how it started and how it's going, the struggles, the challenges, everything you faced so far. And so let's just dive into it.
This conversation is one that earlier, if you asked me about it, I won't really would have wanted to like talk about it because it's quite sensitive. And you know how like you feel like you've gotten over something, and then when you start talking about it, you actually realize that, oh, okay, this thing actually still hurts, or it's not like, okay, yeah, it probably still hurts, or there's still this very emotional thing attached to the story and stuff. So the thing about being a single mom is either planned or unplanned. It's not something that is easy. It's not something that anybody should do by themselves. But it's not something I regret because it's something that has actually molded me. Growing up, I used to be a very timid person. I used to be very shy, very reserved. I'm still very shy. I can be very reserved now, but now I know how to come out of my shell, that sort of thing. And that's something I'm going to actually attribute to the phase of being a single mom, because you realize that, oh, you have to be strong for your child and all that. So I found out I was pregnant after my service. Oh no, just a week to POP. And you know, POP, personal parade, is something you're meant to be excited. I'm throwing away this khaki, I'm done. And then my own is finding out that I'm pregnant a week to the time. So that was a very...
So where did you serve?
I served in Abuja.
Okay.
That was a very sensitive period because I meant to call my parents that, oh, I'm done serving, but now the news I'm going to go and tell them that, don't get below, that sort of thing. So I was confused, which is the normal reaction everybody is meant to have. I was confused, I was scared. Sometimes a lady can actually stay pregnant for 3 months and she won't know she's pregnant. Your body, you can, some ladies even still see their period. And me, that wasn't, in as much as I was pregnant, I wasn't really sexually, what's the word I'm going to use? Sexually mature. So the period I even found out I was pregnant I was meant to be on my period. So I didn't even know. So I was still wearing pad. So I didn't know, but I realized I was spotting. It wasn't coming out like the usual flow. So I was staying with a friend. And I told her, it's a day now, and the period hasn't like come out the way. And she was like, are you sure you're not pregnant? Because I was dating, I had a boyfriend. I strongly advised against sex before marriage. So she was like, are you sure you're not pregnant? That was the last thing in my head. You know when people say my whole world paused, like literally, like my whole world stopped for a moment. It was like nothing was moving around me. And it just stopped. And I'm like, me, pregnant, how? Me that don't have sense. How do I want to go and start raising a child? Like that sort of thing. So I called the father of my child and it's like, okay, cool, we get through this together. And there's just always this peace that you have when the person is involved. But now my main concern were my parents, my dad, because they had plans for me after service and everything. But with this one, it was now everybody's plan are scattered, and I'm the first child. So imagine the first child of your family, girl, being pregnant. It wasn't something exciting. As usual, you expect your parents to flare up, shout at you, insult you, and all that. And then I called my best friend. My best friend was in Kaduna then, and she had to come to Abuja because they know my dad. My dad is a tough man. My dad is hard guy. So she was really, everybody was scared for me. So I texted him because I couldn't tell him. So I texted him, I was like, I think I said, I'm sorry I disappointed you. That was all I said. And then he called me and he was like, he called my name and I burst out in tears. And I was like, what was it? I was like, I was just saying, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He was like, you're pregnant.
He said it.
Yes. I said, yes, I'm so sorry. He said, okay. Do you know the father of the child? I told him, yes. He was like, okay, no problem. We'll get through this.
Oh.
And then he ended the call. And my friend was looking at me like, let's check.
Are you sure that was your dad?
Like that shaped parenting for me. Because at that moment, I was really beating myself up. I was really feeling shitty. I was really feeling terrible. I didn't need one of the most important people in the world to me to add to it. I didn't need that. So when he did that, I stopped crying and I was staring at my phone. My friends were staring at me. I was staring at my friend. Because it's my friend who be friends since just so she knows my dad. And she was like, are you sure it's your dad? You just, I said, is it now? The thing is, it's not like I'm taking away the fact that my parents had any right to be angry. I'm not taking away. They were angry, but they just handled it well. That's just the thing. Like, they were angry, which is like they were in their rights. So I'm not even trying to say, oh, they don't have any. No. That's not even what I'm saying. So after that, I had to now go through the whole process of pregnancy, which wasn't easy at all. Like, that was when I realized that everybody's body is different. My body, how my body goes through pregnancy is very different from how your body will go through pregnancy. So I went through my trimesters and everything. But in the process of that, my relationship got really toxic. Like very, very toxic. And me and the guy were meant to get married. Like we're meant to get married and somehow it just became a very toxic relationship. It became
like, how would you define toxic?
Okay, so people used to feel like, you know, when you're in a relationship and it's bad, but there's no physical scars because it's not hitting you. Number one thing for me was, how will my family take it? I'm a single mom, with the fact that, okay, this guy has said that we are going to get married, that sort of thing. So let me just make this work anyhow. Yeah, so the relationship became very toxic and it didn't work out at the end of the day. So I just had to come to terms that,
But your
okay,
parents met him.
yeah, of course. I just had to come to terms that, okay, I'm doing the single mom thing. No, it wasn't actually easy to come to terms with because it's not a joke. There's a full-blown human being that you have to take care of. There's a full-blown human being that you have to cater for. And there are some single moms that don't take it seriously, but me, so I love my daughter. So it's something that I took very seriously and I was very like intentional about because I want her to have a good life. I don't want her to feel like she's missing anything just because maybe the dad is not in the picture or something like that. So I just had to like take on full responsibility of mom and dad. So it wasn't easy, like at all. It was not easy at all. Or is it the point where you are feeling guilty? You're looking at your child and I know there are some times when she's on the bed and I'm staring at her and I'm crying and I'm apologizing. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm not giving you a full family. Like that sort of like the guilt now. And it comes from a place of you have to forgive yourself. Because I feel like sometimes the mistakes that some intentional single moms make is they don't forgive themselves. So now when you don't forgive yourself, you tend to blame your child for everything that happened or for everything that happens. So if you've not forgiven yourself, it starts from a place of guilt. You are feeling guilty and then a place of now wanting to fill up that guilt with blaming your child that, oh, it's your child's fault. It's your child's fault that, oh, the father is not in the picture. It's the child's fault that. And sometimes we tend to forget that these children did not ask. Like me, I didn't ask my parents to bomb me. I don't send a message. So we tend to forget that these children were not asked to be born. You did the do that brought them here. So why should they suffer for your own mistakes? And also that was what I was very intentional about. I told myself that I'm going to be an intentional mom. I'm going to be an intentional parent. Financially, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't. It doesn't get easier financially. But you, for your own strength, it gets easier because now you're like. Sometimes I'm like, I'm badass. So I've done this for 6 years. Like, so that strength becomes easier. Your strength becomes easier. But there's a whole lot of work that has to go on here for you personally because you have to do a lot of mental exercises because that guilt doesn't go off. That's just the truth. Like
at the beginning, were you staying with your parents?
Yes, I was. I was staying with my parents. So it does. My parents are literally like the best people in the world. I don't joke with them because that was a phase in my life where I needed my parents. Like I don't joke with them. Me and my parents can fight now. I'm going to say sorry because I know what they put up with. I know the embarrassment. They'll go out and people are like, your child got pregnant and everything. So it was like there was just, I don't want to say too many stories in one, but for my parents to be there for me at that moment in time was like the biggest sacrifice any parents can make for their child. Because now there's the embarrassment part. You are going outside, people are talking back talk and everything. I know the amount of back talks I had and all that. And I don't even know how many they heard that they didn't just want to tell me. Now is easier, honestly. Now bringing up my child is a lot easier with the support of my family. I'm not even going to take that away. Like with the support of that's why I'm here and she's not somewhere running around. Do you get? So with the support of my family, like that plays a very huge factor.
Have you ever tried to reach out to the dad?
Yeah, we talk sometimes. One thing I try to avoid in this life, because I don't want to die and go to heaven and God will tell me you cannot enter heaven because you have grudge with this person. That's one thing I try to avoid. And then the thing is, I feel like when people hear you're a single mom, they just automatically assume that you're the one that kicked the father out of the life of the child. That's what they just assume. But for people who are willing to be patient to hear the story and they understand that, because okay, for example, you and this person loved each other at some point in your lives and then things go sour and then both of you fight and maybe you go your separate ways. People tend to say, oh, it's because it didn't work out between you and him, that's why you don't want to give him access to your child. But sometimes it's not even like that. Most of the time, honestly, it's not even like that. So when I read stories of single moms and I read the comments and I see how people blame the mom, it kind of hurts because I'm there. So like, don't just assume. Sometimes hear the other side of the story. It mustn't be from your own assumption. So like I said, I'm not somebody that likes holding grudge because everything shows on my face. If I'm irritated, you see it on my face. If I don't like you, you see it on my face. I don't know how to pretend. So if you are cool that okay, you want to be your child's life, fine and good.
On social media, there's this saying that, especially on Twitter, they're always battling single mom. They're always like, avoid single mom because of the baggages, and or avoid kids that are raised by single mothers. So what do you think? Do you think that kids raised by single moms don't usually turn out well? But that's what they think. Because I really want you to fight that notion.
Yeah, that thing is actually very funny. Like I feel, there's some certain things. It's just like 30. There's a thing about turning 30. You can't. It's just something that's really in society. So it's now dependent on you if you want to succumb to their own beliefs. It's now dependent on you if you now want to be playing pity party and be like, oh, I'm a single mom. I remember there was a time when I had issues dating. I wanted to date, but it was like the moment I tell the guy that, because I don't hide my daughter. It's just recently that I don't post her on social media. Before she was like all over my page. I don't hide my daughter, and I'm not going to. She's very important to me. So it's not because of man and I want to pretend. No, now it's just like if I was AS, and you are AS. The right thing is for both of us to tell ourselves, oh, there's a possibility that we might born SSO if we get married. It's just an information that you should know. So I tend to tell them, I'm not telling you because I'm already taking care of my child. So I'm not telling you because I want you to come and start playing father figure. I'm even very protective of her. That's the thing. I'm a very jealous mom. So before a guy will even come to the picture, I will make sure that, are you qualified? So it's not a situation of I'm telling you because I want you to come and start taking responsibility. And if you feel like me and my child, we are baggage, okay, yes.
Carry your load
be
and
going.
Go.
The person that feels that we're not baggage will come into the picture. And then what is even the baggage? Okay, the baggage is most of the time, because I've heard this baggage thing before. So the baggage is, they say, oh, the father of the child. That's what they tell me. Because please, what is the other thing that is the baggage? Because I'm not telling you to come and start paying my child's school fees. I'm already doing that.
They also think that is also a baggage, like having to take care of the
okay, you're scared to come and spend money.
The expenses and everything, even apart from the father, but the fact that that it is normal for me.
So
to
do you think do you think a man that feels that's a problem should be in your life? Realistically, because the truth is, I'm not telling anybody to come and do anything for me. But if you already assume in your head that that's what, then you have problem. It's not me. Because I didn't outrightly come. I tell them at the beginning, I'm not telling you because I tell them from the start. I'm not telling you I have a child because I want you to start taking care of the child for me. No. I'm telling you because that's the information you have to know. If it's something that works with you, I can't be dating someone for like 6 months and then you don't know that I have a child, and then you now hear it after 6 months. What about if it's not something you want?
When you meet someone, do you immediately tell them?
Yeah, so straight up, man.
Or you just take a while? Maybe.
No, I don't take a while.
Some people act like, okay, let him fall in love with me first.
So I tell you straight. As we're talking, as we're getting to know each other, I say, how far? Oh, my name is Eefoma. Oh, great. I'm like, oh, and then I have a child. I go straight into it. So me too, let me not catch feeling that waste. So I go straight. Is it what you want to do or not? I will not blame you if it's not something you want to do. I don't have anything against them because everybody has what they believe in. If you don't want to be with a single mom and that's your own principle and that's your own law, fine. I don't blame you for it. Do you get? There's some certain guys that meet so I can't date. Do you get? So it's the same way that some certain ladies, that some guys can't date. So I'm not going to come and start hitting up on you because you feel like you can't date because I have a child. No. But I tell you from the start, like before some of my friends will be like, oh, let this person get to know you first. I say, no, my child is getting to know. Like, you knowing that I have a child is also getting to know me. Like, it's just because I talk about my daughter a lot. So what's the probability that I won't just say it? And then you'll be like, wait, oh, you have a child. And I'll be like, oh, damn, I did tell you. Yeah. So it's better I just tell you from the start. So if it's something you want, you know that it's something you want. And you were not, okay, imagine we fall in love with each other now for 6 months, a year. And then you find out I have a child. Oh, my, that's me being wicked now. Because now you're hurting somebody. What about if it's not what you want? So me personally, I don't know how other people do it, but me personally, I tell the guy from the beginning. And then there is also the family factor. What if this person's family, they don't want him to get married to somebody that already has a child? So there's just a whole lot for your own mental health too, because this person might be cool with it. He might be like, I'm fine if you have a child, and then he goes to tell his family, like, God forbid. What do you do there? So it's better from the start that for me, I advise anybody that is a single mom. I've learned that your people are your people, no matter what. So if this person is meant to be for you, if you like, have one eye, it will stay. That's the thing. So your person is your person. So some of my friends will tell me it's even good self. Now you even know who your person is. It makes it easier for you to know your person. So once I'm talking to you and I tell the guy that, oh, I have a child.
Have you met someone that felt like he's okay with it?
Yeah, I've met a couple
at the end of
people.
the day, it's like,
yes, actually, trust me. So I have a template of how the chat always goes. So, hi, oh, I have a child. Oh, are you serious? Was boy or girl? Girl. Oh, can I see a picture? Said, oh, she's so cute. Conversation continues, and the next thing, person has gone. So I know how the chat goes. So once you start moving, I say, oh, okay, bye. I had to start doing a lot of mental exercise So it was like, okay, you're a single mom. How am I going to explain this? How am I going to analyze this? Okay, so you're a single mom, and then there's already this fear that you might not get married because you have a child. That fear is already there. And then you're now telling people, and you're just wishing, or you're just accept me now. Accept me. And then you know, to actually make you to just settle for just anybody because you just want that acceptance so much. So I had to break loose from that. I had to tell myself, you and your daughter, you're fine alone. Anybody coming to meet you people or be with the both of you is the lucky person. So I had to change my mentality like entirely. I told myself, see, you're a fine girl, you be babe. Your daughter is a beautiful girl too. So anybody who is coming to be with both of you is a lucky person. And it's not the other way around. You people are not lucky to have. This person is lucky to have you people. So now that validation I was seeking so much to be accepted by a man is out the door. I don't feel it anymore. Now I even tell you, they do, you know, do. I tell you straight. I have a child, you do or not doing. You're not okay, bye. If my child is the reason why I don't want to be with me, please go. That's the thing, because I've built my mental capacity to that point that my child is not even there for backbone. She's in my life. She will be there till I die and leave her. So you have to pick. Either you are staying or you are not. And I'm fine if you go. Because the truth is, I want long-term happiness. I'm not focused on the the moment of now. I'm not focused on... I want something that will last. So if I say, okay, let's just do it, she will not disturb, how long will that last? How long will that supposed happiness be for? So that was I had to learn that my validation of who I am, even if I'm a single mom, doesn't come from a man. So I had to learn that. And then the part where children raised by single mothers, like, that's a very funny, honestly, the ones that are raised by two parents, I'm very correct. Like, I don't understand.
They never get to respect a man because when they grow up not having a father figure around.
That's a very that's why I said I'm a very intentional parent. So now that has nothing to do with a single mom. That has nothing to do with being raised. So are you trying to tell me that boys raised by single fathers have issues because their mom isn't there? See, at the end of the day, it depends on how you carry yourself in front of your children or your child. And it depends on the kind of conversations you have with them concerning the world around them. And then if you're the one that wants to date, it also depends on how often you bring. So now I try to be intentional about not bringing so many guys to my daughter so she doesn't get confused. So now I have conversations. So I already made this space open for her that she can come and tell me anything. So if she has questions about men, so now the problem is some ladies might tend to make men look bad to their daughters or to their kids. So now that's the perspective that they have about men. But they also have ladies who tend to say, see, life, this is how life is. Doesn't necessarily mean that this gender is bad because a particular gender is raising them. So that whole thing is, parenting is an individual thing. There's some people that have been raised by both parents and they still turn out a mess. So you cannot come and say it's because this child was raised by a single mom. And we also tend to forget that society raises kids. I'm a single mom. Am I following my daughter to sit in her class in school? I'm a single mom. When my daughter goes and when she should grow up, she go to university, am I going to follow her? Am I going to know the kind of friends she's keeping there? So why are you quick to attribute all that to being a single mom? So that thing, when I hear it, I'm like, I'm like, oh, rubbish. I don't even, that part doesn't even move because I'm like, please, I beg. So when I see people that have that kind of mentality, I'm not even friends with them. There's no need. Because those people, it's hard to change that mentality for them. So that's what makes you sleep at night. Sleep away. Voila.
So what do you think about single moms that feel like they don't want to marry a single dad? They actually want someone like a guy that doesn't have a child. You think it's selfish? Because I remember.
No, I don't think. Okay, so the truth is, before I say anything, before anything comes out of my mouth, I first place myself in people's shoes. People have, as I said at the beginning, people have what they want. So I'm not going to particularly say because you're a single mom. Also, because I'm a single mom, I should not marry a single dad. No.
The
Do you
people
get?
feel like you guys are
No, like, so
people
it's an individual thing.
understand
Some people
you
don't want
guys
it.
each other.
So for me now, yeah, I don't have an issue dating a single dad because I feel like for me personally, we have something in common. We have something that can connect us. But that some people is not like that. Some people don't want it. Do you get? So some people have, that's an individual thing. It doesn't mean that they're selfish. It's just what I like kind of situation. Like me, I can date a single dad. I can date a guy that doesn't have kids. That's me. That's some people. It's just as I said, some guys can't date single moms. It's just what they want. Doesn't make them selfish. Doesn't make them bad people. Do you get? It's just what they want. So I don't think I'm going to call them selfish. Now them know it's in the eye don't see. So it's a personal decision thing. Sometimes you'll be like, I want someone that is kind, and you're like wicked as shit. So I want a kind man. I'm very big on kind people because I'm a kind person. You don't need to. Nobody needs to. Me, I tell myself, be a kind person. So I want a kind man. I tell my friends something. I said, yes, love is good. Love is a beautiful thing. But please, in all that you do in this life, marry a kind man. Because the truth is, and people, I actually posted it. I put it as a caption in one of my pictures, and people were like, what's the difference? And I told them, yeah, someone can love you and not be kind to you. And it's weird. It's actually a weird thing because this person is meant to be kind to you, but someone can actually love you and not be kind to you. And then you see that when you're about to, because I was with a friend when she was about to give birth. I'm like, oh, get a kind. It's important to marry a man in sync with his emotions. I love vulnerable men. I love my man coming to me and crying. Don't be for me hard guy. That's not my kind of man. Like, I like my man coming to me. He's himself. You see this whole masculinity thing. I don't subscribe to it because she's a human being that God put feelings and emotions inside. So why can't you express it just because you're a man? So I like a kind man. I like a man that is vulnerable, that is in tune with his emotions and his feelings. Like, it's actually important. I like when somebody calls me and is like, I need to talk. Like, there's just this thing about it for me. I want a man that loves God. Very, very important. Like, sometimes I've not even dated just because of that factor. Before, if it was just me, I don't think I'll be so big on a matured man. I don't think I'll be so big on some. But now that I have a child, I need a man that is matured. That'll be able to handle situations when they come up in a matured way, in a very reasonable and sensitive way, that sort of thing. Someone that communicates, because communication is actually very important. Like, I tell people, there's this thing I always tell people, I say, see, life is not that deep. Human beings are just complicated. Like, life is not that deep. If I have issues with you today, and then, or maybe for example, I come into this room and you don't give me water, and I want water. You are not a mind reader. You can't read my mind to assume that I want water. So maybe I say it, and then I start holding it against you that you didn't give me water. Why didn't I just communicate it? So I tell people, see that life is not that deep. If you want something, you go for it. If it doesn't work out, you try again. If you feel someone hurts you, tell the person, and then move on. Because see, nobody's making it out of here alive. No, all of us are going to die. So what's the need of living a life where you are holding on to things in your chest, where you can just let them go and breathe? Like, allow yourself sleep well at night. So I want somebody that I can communicate with, someone that tells me when I mess up, someone that I can tell to when he messes up, someone that then in all this seriousness, I want you to be on serious too. So like, it's just like a perfect blend of both worlds, like that kind of thing. So that's basically the kind of man. Let me know if I want man to have money. It's important. Very important. Man that have money and that is fine. I said those two last. So, well, important stuff there. So yeah.
Nice one. All right. So thank you so much. Like, we've got to the end. But before you go, I usually ask this. So I usually ask my guests this question, so I want you to tell me like something nobody knows about.
Something nobody. Thank you. I actually like this question because it's a conversation I'm having with my friend, and it might sound serious, but it's something I actually want people to know. Don't assume somebody is happy just because they've painted a certain picture on social media. I just want people to know that I'm a human being. The way they struggle is the way I'm struggling. The way you are hustling is the way I'm hustling. The way you are trying to put food on your table is the way I'm trying to put food on my table. And then just always this pressure of not being yourself. Because now we live in a society where you come out and say I'm not fine. People be like, and only they go through. I want people to actually say it's fine. I'm not okay, and that's fine. And you'll be surprised how many people are not okay. They're just waiting for one person to come and say I'm not fine, and then you see a line of people. Social media, people that mask it has made it look like it's just like the way now what's raining is marriage cannot last. But they're happy marriages. Your parents are married, innit? They are happy marriages and all that. So maybe because the happy married people have not come out to make it, so people don't really know. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So that's one thing to know about me. I'm a human being. I'm going through life. I will show me the social media. So don't base your life off what you see on social media. Don't do that. And this is not even the cliche. Don't assume that somebody is happy just because you're painting a certain picture of them on social media. Hi guys, my name is Eefoma, and I've had such an amazing session with Real Mayor, and I'm sure you want to get to watch more of this amazing content. All you need to do is just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Real Mayor, and just come back for more and turn on that notification button because I'm sure she's going to have more amazing content coming your way. Thank you.